Hey, what's up guys? Today, I'll show you a romantic comedy film, Just My Luck. Spoiler ahead, watch out and take care. The movie begins with a rainy day in New York City. Lucky girl steps out of her residential building. Her doorman comments that she does not have an umbrella, but as soon as he mentions that, it suddenly becomes sunny. As she gets into a cab, she finds $1 stuck to the sole of her shoe. Once inside the cab, she receives a call from a radio station saying that she won their contest. The cab driver is astonished that they encounter 5 green traffic lights in a row. Lucky girl is having a great start to her day. On the other hand, unlucky guy is experiencing the opposite. As lucky girl's cab passes by unlucky guy, he gets splashed with water from the street puddle. He finds a penny, but as he bends over to pick it up, the seam of his pants ripped. He is chasing after record label man to give him the CD of a band he's been managing. As he is chasing after him, he keeps pulling his pants up as it keeps going down. Lucky girl arrives at her workplace. As she reaches the elevator, it is already full, but another one opens for her. Before the elevator completely closes, handsome guy asks her to hold the elevator doors. He gets in the elevator and thanks her. Record label man's dog poops in the park, and the policeman gives him a sharp look. He takes out $1 and picks up the poop, then throws it into a trash can. Unlucky guy continues to chase him. He picks up the $1 in the trash. He notices that it has poop, which he washes off in the fountain. When he gets up, a woman runs into him and they fall over. The woman cries for help and unlucky guy's pants drop. The woman kicks him in the crotch and the policeman chases him. Unlucky guy continues following record label man. When he catches up with record label man, he gets arrested by the policeman. The CD flies out of his hands and gets run over by record label man's car. Lucky girl is asked out on a date by the handsome guy in the elevator. After having a quick chat with her friends, she rushes off to a meeting. When she gets into the meeting room, her other workmates are stuck in the full elevator. The meeting is being held for one of their clients, record label man. Record label man is becoming impatient because the meeting hasn't started. Lucky girl convinces him to stay and listen to her do the presentation. Meanwhile, unlucky guy is released from the precinct. As soon as he steps out, it starts to rain. He desperately tries to cover himself with his hat and coat. After such a long time, lucky girl's workmates get themselves out of the elevator. Lucky girl's boss apologizes to record label man for being late, but he says that Lucky girl already did the presentation and he is highly impressed with the idea of throwing a masquerade party. The boss is happy with this and gives Lucky girl her own office, company credit card, and she puts her in charge of planning the party. Unlucky guy comes home and his little cousin shows him that she has a toy stuck on her face. He gives her a burger and peels the toy off her face. He takes away the toy and says goodbye to little cousin and goes into his room. When he closes the door, something inside his room crashes. When Lucky girl gets home, she is preparing for her date with handsome guy. While her friends are helping her pick out an outfit, they ask her about the details of the date. The doorbell rings and her neighbor gives a dry clean dress that he thought was hers. She invites him to the masquerade party as a date for her boss. Upon looking at the dress, she realizes that it doesn't belong to her, but to a famous actress in her building. The dress is in her size and it's a designer brand. She decides that she will wear it to the date. Unlucky guy steps out of his building and a bird poops on him, and then he almost gets run over. He goes to his workplace, a bowling alley, for the band's rehearsal. The band asks him if he is able to give the CD, but unlucky guy comes up with excuses. He encourages them to continue rehearsing for the night's show and gets asked by the owner to unclog the toilets. At night, Lucky girl's date starts. She arrives at a helicopter landing in a limousine. She is in awe of everything. Unlucky guy's night starts with his shift at the bowling alley. He leads men in suits to their tables to listen to the band play. The band sets up for their performance. But as they begin, unlucky guy's bad luck strikes again and he messes up the sound system. He gets fired from his job and the band says that they want to quit. But unlucky guy convinces them to stay for another week and wait for him to make things work out. The next day, Lucky girl and her friends are at a sushi bar. She tells them about her wonderful date and her friends comment about how extraordinary her luck is. Lucky girl insists that she's not lucky. As a test, her friends give her a scratch card. She scratches and wins. After that, brunette friend and Lucky girl rush off to the party venue. As Lucky girl is narrating what the party will look like, the room transforms into the party. Unlucky guy attempts to get into the party, but security won't let him in. He finds another way by pretending that he's a dancer for the party. Inside, Lucky girl sees that her boss and neighbor are falling in love. The fortune teller affirms that the couple are meant to be. When the couple leaves, the fortune teller offers to tell Lucky girl her fortune. She warns Lucky girl that her good luck might change. Unlucky Guy is in his suit and mask. He gets up on stage to talk to record label man, but he is pulled by the other dancers to perform. Once he is off stage, he continues his pursuit. But as he follows record label man, he encounters Lucky Girl. Redneck friend asks him why he's in that area, and he comes up with the excuse that he wants to dance with Lucky Girl. Lucky Girl accepts this and they dance. At first, Unlucky Guy is hesitant and awkward, but they eventually start to have fun. Snow-like particles fall from the ceiling and they lock their lips together. After the kiss, Unlucky Guy asks Lucky Girl to stay on the dance floor. He chases record label man. As Lucky Girl walks, the heel of her shoe breaks. When she bent down to fix it, her dress rips. Unlucky Guy follows record label man outside. A car is about to hit record label man, but Unlucky Guy pushes him out of the way to save him. Unlucky Guy gets hit by the car, but he is not injured. So record label man thanks him for saving his life and asks him if there's anything that he can do in return. Unlucky Guy asks him to listen to the band, and record label man doesn't hesitate to do it. Inside, Lucky Girl is choking. Then boss starts shouting at the police to arrest her. She sees neighbor in handcuffs, and she is confused as to what is happening. They arrest her, and she discovers that neighbor is a male escort. In the precinct, she thinks that they're being pranked by a show for a contest. Lucky Girl gets told that she is fired, and boss leaves. Lucky Girl pisses off another woman in the cell and gets punched in the face. The next day, we see the band in record label man's studio. Record label man listens to the song and then starts to leave. Unlucky Guy follows record label man. Record label man tells him that he is signing the band into the label, which surprises Unlucky Guy. When Lucky Girl gets out of the precinct, she tries to hail a cab, but she ends up getting splashed with the water in the street puddle. Then, it begins to rain. She arrives at her home but discovers that her room is flooded. All that they could save fit into a small box, which collapses when she enters the elevator. So Lucky Girl goes to her friend's apartment. She starts blow-drying her hair in the bathroom, then freaks out when she notices that she has a pimple. While freaking out, her hair gets caught on the blow-dryer and she breaks the mirror. The blow-dryer begins to spark and she throws it into the bathtub and turns on the faucet. The electricity in the whole building goes out. She realizes that the fortune teller is right. She goes to the fortune teller's shop and blames her for giving her bad luck. The fortune teller reveals that Unlucky Guy is the reason why her good luck went away. The only way to get her luck back is to kiss Unlucky Guy again. With her friends, she looks for Unlucky Guy among the dancers that perform at the party. She sees one of the dancers who just got married and immediately rushes over to give him a kiss. After the kiss, she scratches a scratch card and loses. She continues her search everywhere. She kisses a street performer, 2 guys in a rehearsal, a man in the emergency room, and a nasty guy inside a men's sauna. After each one, she scratches a card to test her luck, but she continues to lose. They're down to 1 dancer, but they can't find him. Defeated, they return to her friend's apartment. Handsome Guy left a message on the phone asking her out on another date. She's hesitant to go, but her friends convince her that she should. She decides to go and changes her negative mindset. She drops one of her contact lenses in the cat's litter box. She picks this back up and puts it in her eye. Her eye starts to hurt. This results in her wearing an eye patch to the date. The event organizers refuse to let her in until Handsome Guy comes and says that she is a guest. Once inside, she starts making bad comments about a mud display. She doesn't realize that while she is talking, Handsome Guy's mother, who is the artist, is right behind her. She makes an awful impression on the mother as she says all the wrong things. Handsome Guy calls a waiter over and Lucky Girl realizes that he is the last dancer on the list. Lucky Girl excuses herself to follow the waiter. She tries to get him to kiss her. While this is happening, the exhibit show starts and the waiter is a part of it. The spotlight falls on Lucky Girl and the waiter, and she pretends that he is having a heart attack and gives him CPR. She kisses the waiter and Handsome Guy pulls her away. She feels good, thinking that she got her luck back. But then she falls on the mud display that she was commenting on earlier. She's arrested again, and the same lady earlier punches her. The next day, she walks out of prison and passes by a restaurant. She looks longingly at the food that is being served. She sits at a table and realizes that she doesn't have any money. The owner tries to kick her out, but she continues to make a scene. She grabs the bacon from a diner's plate. She realizes that she's being disgusting and puts it back. As she does, the salt shaker falls over, a sign of bad luck. She decides to throw salt over her shoulder to take away bad luck, but the salt goes into the owner's eyes. Meanwhile, Unlucky Guy, who happens to be there, pulls her outside of the restaurant. As they were walking, she rants to him about the misfortune she'd had. He gives her a sandwich, and as she eats it on a bench, he offers her a job. She gets his old job at the bowling alley. Mishaps happen while she's working. She has trouble using the equipment. Gum falls into her mouth as she peels them off the table. When she polishes a bowling ball, she puts it back on the shelf and it collapses, breaking a glass cabinet. The band and Unlucky Guy visit the bowling alley and their song plays on the radio. Lucky Girl is fixing the light and gets electrocuted. She falls from the ladder, but Unlucky Guy catches her. In the break room, he helps her with her burnt fingers and gives her tips on how to survive being unlucky. During band rehearsal at the studio, record label man shares that the band is booked for a concert. He congratulates them and asks them to write a new song. Lucky Girl delivers food to the studio. Unlucky Guy asks her out on a coffee date, but after thinking that he's interested in another girl, she refuses. When Unlucky Guy is dropping off little cousin home, he sees Lucky Girl walking out of the bowling alley. She struggles with her umbrella and offers her a ride. At first, she doesn't want to, but eventually accepts his offer. They go back to his apartment and she changes into his clothes. She overfills the water with detergent. The machine starts and overflows. She tries to fix it, but it keeps on getting worse. Eventually, Unlucky Guy comes in and turns the machine off. They almost kiss, but little cousin interrupted them. They have hot chocolate together, and Lucky Girl learns that the band is struggling with writing a new song. She offers to help them. Blonde friend performs her song for the band in the studio and they give it a shot. Record label man informs them that the band's show is sold out, and Unlucky Guy talks about how he feels like the luckiest man in the world. Lucky Girl overhears this and realizes that he's the guy she kissed. She kisses him immediately and leaves. Unlucky Guy sits back in his chair and falls. Thanks to that, Lucky Girl gets her luck back. She hails a cab and all the cabs stop. She scratches a card and wins. She runs into boss and neighbor and learns that they got engaged. At the same time, she gets her old job back. When she returns to her friend's apartment, her friends are preparing for the concert. Lucky Girl doesn't plan to go, but then she changes her mind. At the concert venue, mishaps begin to happen. The drummer drops his drumsticks into a trap door, and he goes down to retrieve them. Unlucky Guy closes this door, not knowing that the drummer is inside. Inside the band's dressing room, a guitar string breaks and hits one of the members in the eye. The members end up vomiting. The drummer continues to seek help and explores the space underneath the stage. They start looking for him, but they can't see him anywhere. Record label man demands that the band perform without the drummer, but they refuse. Fortunately, Lucky Girl comes and kisses Unlucky Guy, and their luck switches again. Suddenly, the drummer rises to the stage and the band performs. After their performance, they celebrate. Lucky Girl confesses to brunette friend that she has feelings for Unlucky Guy, but she can't be with him. So she decides to go visit her parents. At the train station, once she arrives, all the trains suddenly become delayed. Unlucky Guy appears. She tells him that they can't be together. He tries to kiss her, but she refuses. He tells her that he can live with bad luck if he has her. They share a long, passionate tongue massage. As they kiss, the trains switch back and forth from being delayed to being on time. Little cousin sees them, and they both kiss her on the cheeks, attempting to pass all their good luck to her. They ask her to scratch a card, and she wins. When they exit the train station, they pick up a quarter, making them think that they still have their luck. The movie ends when they are about to kiss, and the manhole behind them explodes with water. This is Daniel CC Movie Channel. Stay safe and enjoy your day.